into a buzzsaw at Houston, number 8. They were angry, really good team coming off a tough loss to Auburn, and it showed. You know, they played outstanding basketball, and we weren't very good. They've got the longest home court winning streak in the country at 24. Beat Kansas last year by 30 plus at home. I mean, they're legit. 2 first-team All Big 12 guys preseason on their roster, and they played outstanding, and we played poor. We turned it over too many times. All the things that I mentioned to you guys last Monday here and also to Jay before the radio, every one of those things happened, and none of them were in our favor. So we were disappointed we didn't compete a little bit better, but we've got some guys sick. We had guys sick during that game, and we didn't play the way we needed to. Now we're about to take on a talented Rice team that we're very familiar with their coaching staff and their style of play. They're 3-1. Their only loss is to Florida State in the Toyota Center by 8 points, and they won their other 3 home games against FIU, Monroe, and Northwestern State. They've got good guard play. They've got a couple of good bigs that can play as well, really good defensively, and should be an excellent basketball game. I would consider it to be like the Kent State game tomorrow night.
Is it going to be like y'all had problems with the Kent State guys just being physical and getting to the free throw line? Is it that kind of a challenge defensively?
Well, they did shoot 38 free throws, I believe, Saturday against Northwestern State. Had a huge advantage there in that game. But they are a physical team. I don't know if it'll be quite the same game, but, yeah, we've got to be strong and match their physicality from that standpoint, Kevin. It would be similar.
Where are y'all in terms of I mean, to me, that's a game, the Houston game, you could just flush and move forward. But did anybody come out of that game that, you know, maybe gets more playing time because of what you saw?
The Houston game? Yeah. No. We graded out really bad. I mean, if you look at it, Houston had, I think they had 9 players that had 4 rebounds in the game. 9. We had 2. We didn't have a guy score double figures. I mean, we were awful. Offensively, we didn't execute. We just lost the ball. So, no, everyone graded poorly, both offensively and defensively in that game. And you know, hopefully we can learn from it. And we've had a decent week of practice, you know, even though we've been shorthanded some and hadn't had 10 in a couple of days. But we should be at full strength tomorrow.
With Rice, how similar? I know they've had a lot of turnover coaching staff and stuff from last year, but how similar is it to when y'all played there last year?
Only got one guy back that can really shoot the basketball, and they got a whole new team. But we certainly know the way they played. You know, we played SMU when Rob was there, and we also played him at Georgia State many times. And looks like he's trying to develop what he had at those last 2 programs. But they've got a whole new group, which is kind of strange. I was telling a friend of mine yesterday that in today's environment, you think that Rice wouldn't have a whole roster turnover. You think that academics would still be important, but guys are leaving to go play. So they've got a whole new group except for one guy.
So if you had a long layoff and you from a game that was kind of a wash, and so are you kind of starting over? Like, where are y'all right now in terms of momentum and decision making and roster rotation decisions and all that?
Yeah, we'll find out tomorrow. I mean, we've had the rotation piece is interesting because we've had some guys that have been sick and haven't been able to get on the floor, and but it'll be a challenge tomorrow night to get started off on the right foot, be disciplined, and see where we are in our rotation and how we play. But, yeah, there's a little bit of unknown since we've had a week off and haven't been able to practice at full speed.
That's what I was going to ask. It's obviously always a battle to get ready for conference play. But with Ozana's injury kind of resetting the timetable a little bit, is it more so like using non-conference as really preparation to try to be ready when conference play is?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what counts. Yeah, we want to win every game. We want to compete and win. We knew that winning the Houston game would be hard. Obviously, a couple of years ago, we went over there and played them to a 15-point game. We would have liked to have done the same thing, but we didn't do it. So, as Kevin said, you just flush it and you move on to the next game. And Rice has a team that we certainly can compete against, and we need to play and get better each game. You know, even going to the tournament this weekend to play Liberty, to try to get better for conference, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Our first conference game will be in late December here against Appalachian State.
So who is most likely, illness-wise, to not play?
Well, we'll have to see. You know, we've had several guys who have been sick. Zeke, Karan, Kendall, Mustafa, all those guys have missed practice this past few days.
The trip on the road with all these new players, how important could that be for down the road?
I think it's big. I mean, the tournament's going to be a challenge. I mean, Liberty beat Charleston yesterday at Charleston by 20, and Charleston's got a nice team. So Liberty's tough. They are well coached by Richie McKay, and that's our first one. And then from there, I think we'll play the winner-loser of Kansas State versus George Washington. Kansas State's got a very talented team and a big team, so I don't know much about GW at this time, but I do know Liberty's very good, and they're one of the better teams in Conference USA.
But in terms of just team building, road trips, or is that not really an issue?
Yeah, no, I think it all helps, Kevin. You know, we took a scrimmage game in Plano against New Mexico State, and then we wound up, that was a travel trip because I wanted to travel, and then the trip to Houston was just a one-night trip, but this will be a little bit longer. Certainly should help us grow together as a team, spending as much time as we will in the hotel and on the court. And they've got a couple of activities for the guys to do as well. So I think it'll be a chance to bond a little bit and get ready. And we need to go win some games. That's what we need to do. We've got 3 games. We've been fortunate in these tournaments in the past that we've come out you know, winning a couple, 2 out of 3, and that's obviously the goal every time if you can't win the tournament.